Hey guys, Jimmy, Ziggy, and Steve back from Ziggy's Lawn and Landscape. Today we need your help. We want to know what you guys think about this potential job for us next year. What is it, Steve?
This is technically an HOA, part of this development. We don't have to worry about any houses. We got a message from a friend of ours who we've known for a long time and is looking for a price for the 2023 season for lawn maintenance for this. It's like a water retention catch basin area. And the guy's going to meet us here shortly, so we're not sure if it goes the entire length down the street of all the grass or if it's just in here. But initial thoughts, it's very wet. I can only imagine in the summer and the growing months it's going to be even more wet, and a lot of weed whacking, we think. But once we go walk it with the client, we will take you guys back here in a little bit with the camera and show you how exactly big it is. We'll go home, we'll pull it up on Yardbook on the street map view, get the size, the square footage, and just see price-wise if you guys want to throw your opinions on what this would be worth weekly to maintain the grass next year. I'm assuming the HOA needs to know by January 1st so they know what they're doing. It's kind of a weird time to be asking for a lawn price, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we want you guys to throw your comments down below of how much you would charge based on the situation once we get the rundown. So we'll be back in a sec.
All right, we're back here at the property. We met with the client a little bit before, and we just wanted to walk it real quick when he wasn't here, just so we get some footage for you guys to see it. It goes from this telephone pole, basically what you see where we're standing, down to the rock wall over by the other person's property where that slide is. So they're looking for a price to maintain this entire thing. Weed whack along the street, weed whack and cut as close as we can to the water, and basically up to the wooded tree line. It's a decent size amount of grass, but we're gonna go home and we're gonna pull up the aerial footage on Yardbook with their feature that they have for like property size. It's pretty much Google Maps, but it's built into Yardbook. It's really cool. We'll throw the address of this street in, and we'll come and see exactly how many acres or square feet it is, and we're gonna see what you guys think on how much to cut this. We're gonna price it weekly, bi-weekly, and also monthly. Which we'll talk about that later, but Jimmy's just gonna walk this real quick and I'll pick him up at the other end.
Let's go for a little walk here. Now I'd say, I don't know how many yards this is, but it looks very similar to a football field to me, at least. Obviously there's a lot of water down there. Some of that will have to be maintained, but the grass is obviously up here, mostly the guardrail. And then the other side's the same thing. There's only a few trees to weed whack around ever anyways. This is mostly, it looks like self-mulching pine trees, so not much grass will probably pop up through there. That's gonna be anything significant. But it's not really that bad if you have if we have the right mower on here. I mean, we wouldn't cut this with like a walker mower. We definitely use a stand-on and just shoot the grass. But yeah, that's it. Take one last look behind. All right, so like Steve said, we're gonna go home and we're gonna pull up Yardbook and we're gonna see roughly what the acreage is of the whole piece of land, and then we want to show you guys how we run through a little bit of the Yardbook process, and then we're gonna have a number in our head, but we want to pick everybody else's brain, and hopefully you guys comment down below what you guys would price that as, based off of like an acreage or an hourly rate or something like that. Would be very cool to just see what everybody else's thoughts are.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna work up a quote and we're gonna send it out to them in the next couple of days. All right, so here's Yardbook. We're typing in the address here on this world map with a satellite view. So we go ahead and type in the address, and this is the area right here. It's this big water basin, and it starts along the road. There's a telephone pole, and then you'll see in a second it's up by somebody's rock wall. So we full screen it here, and you can see the rock wall up top, and it runs all the way down. It looks very similar to kind of like a football field in my opinion. It's a rectangle. So on Yardbook, we can pinpoint where we want to go. So by dropping 4 pins roughly where the corner is, we have the street line, of course, and then there's a tree line right at the boundaries of where we know the property ends. That's our rough area right there. And if we exit out, we can see the acreage. It's right about 1 acre, give or take. Of course, there's a little bit of water in the middle, but the property size is still an acre, which is what we usually judge it off of. And you can see there's options for mulch and such, and just gives you the total yardage and so forth. But it's a very helpful tool to be able to see everything that's on the property from an aerial view. You get total property size, which is typically what we'll do, so that we know what we're looking at even before we show up. And that's pretty much it as far as using Yardbook. And from this, we already have a pretty good ballpark number in our head of what the property maintenance will entail and how much it will be. And we can work up quotes for weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly if they want to.